Hi, guys, and welcome to our reading, writing, and spelling lesson today, where we are going to be practicing what we would call very common English words that don't really follow the spelling patterns that we used to at this level of our writing or reading journey. So, your teacher at school might call them sight words. You might have heard about high frequency words, which means that we see them a lot, they're in a lot of the books that we'll be reading now. Some programs would be calling them heart words, and the reason why they're called heart words is because they are parts of the word that we need to remember by heart. They don't follow rules that we've learned yet. And so our job is to analyze our words and see, okay, which of the parts of the word can we spell with the spelling rules that we know, and which parts might be something that we need to remember or think about. And don't worry, most of the rules that we're going to be learning today, you're going to be learning very soon later on in your phonics and reading journeys with Miss Kita. So this is just really for us to get nice and accurate very early on in our reading and writing journey. Let's not waste any time. I would like to just say thank you so much for being patient with me. I'm also a student and I am learning how to use Zoom tools, annotation tools. So thank you for being patient with me. I'm also a student. I'm also learning and I'm also making mistakes. Yay, 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 because all my mistakes are going to help me to learn. So here we go. We're going to start with our first word, the. And of course, you probably can already understand why these words are called high frequency words, because the is such a common word. We would see it, just in almost every book that we read. So let's start off by saying the. The dog, the chair, the teacher, the sun, the. Let's stretch it out. The. Can you stretch it out even more? The. Nice stretching. Let's count the sounds. The. We've got two sounds in the word the. I'll get my highlighter and make sure that we will be able to highlight the two blocks for the first sound and for the second sound. Okay? So even though has got two letters, it still is only one sound. So it only takes up one block. And Alrighty. We are going to spell the sounds of the. The first sound is a voiced sound. Put your finger on your throat. Yeah. And we spell with a T and an H. Easy? So easy. Now we've got the second part of the word. And we can already see that there's a heart on this part. And that's because the in the is spelt with an E. Well, how do we normally spell We normally spell with the letter U, like in up or us or umbrella. But in the word the, we have got the spelt with an E. And so this is the part of the word that we need to pay attention to if we are going to spell the accurately every time. Okay, now later on I'm going to teach you all about the schwa sound, but for today we're just going to leave it that the has got two sounds, and And we've got to remember that the in the is spelled with the letter E. This is the part that we're remembering. Now we're going to get some good practice and write the word the. our golden rule in our lessons is as I move my pencil, or as my pencil moves, so does my mouth. And as we write the sounds, we're going to be saying the sounds. So, as my pencil moves, so does my mouth. The, 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 and I'm using the letter E. And there I've practiced the 2 times. Now I'm going to write a sentence using the word the. So every sentence needs a who. My who is going to be the man, and my do is going to be runs fast. The man runs fast. All right. I'm going to remember my capital letter, my spacing, and my punctuation. The space. Man, mm, runs. Uh, mm, fast. Uh, the man runs fast. If I check my sentence, I'm quite happy because I remembered that I have got my capital letter at the beginning of my sentence. I've got spacing in between my words, good spacing. My handwriting is not very neat, but that's because I'm using a virtual pen. And I have got a punctuation mark, a full stop at the end of my sentence. And I've got my who, the man, does what? Runs fast. So I don't want you to make marks like that on your writing. I'm simply showing you how you can check your writing sentences when you're done. But you don't want to be putting green marks on everything like Miss Kita has just done. It's just to show you how I would think and check through my sentence. Alrighty, let's carry on and do our rest of our heart words for today. Alrighty. So our next word that we're going to do, we can read the word over here, is you. You. A lot of us have seen this in I love you. Alrighty. So, how many sounds? Let's say you. You. You are my best friend. You are so smart. Let's count this. Let's stretch it out first. You. Let's count the sounds. Y, oo. How many sounds are in you? If you said 2, then you are right. Y and oo. 2 sounds in the word you. All right. Let's analyze how we spell those sounds. How do we spell the y in you? That's right. We use Y. Very easy. We know that Y says y. We also know that Y can say some other sounds, but we'll leave that for another day. You, y. And now for the oo part, this is the part of the word that we've got to be paying attention to. How do we spell the oo in you? We spell it with O and U. That's how we spell the oo in you, O and U. So we're going to put a little heart on top of our spelling over here. Normally, when we spell oo, you might have seen it as O, or you might have seen it as in a different spelling, okay? But for you, we spell the oo with O and U. So now we're going to practice writing the word. Let's go. As my pencil moves, so does my mouth. Oopsie, looks like I've got a red pen. Whoopsie. All right, let's go. Yeah, ooh, you. Yeah, ooh, you. Okay, and you'll be able to follow and write in your document as well that you've got in front of you. I hope that you've got, all of your things ready, and I hope that as I am writing, you are also doing your part of the writing too. If you haven't done that yet, you can just stop the video and you can catch up quickly. All right. So now we're going to write a sentence with the word you. And I'm going to write a sentence dedicated to you. And it's going to be, you are so smart. All right. So let's start our sentence, always starting with a capital letter, thinking about my organization, spacing in between my sentences, making sure that my sentence makes sense, my punctuation, and my spelling. Well, I've already practiced you. So let's go. You, you are so smart. Smart. Okay. And this may be a bit of a more challenging sentence or a sentence that you might not know how to write yet, and that's fine. You can write whatever sentence you want to do. For example, you might want to say, you, and we could write are big. That could be a nice sentence. You are big or you are fun. All right, let's do you are fun. I like that. You are fun. Uh, mm, you are fun. Okay. And there I've got a nice sentence. Okay. All right. Let's keep going and work through our hard words. We would want to do like maybe 2 hard words in a day and then stop. But Mosquito is going to carry on with this page, and then every day you can practice a few of your hard words. Also, after the lesson, you'll be able to go and practice them in your notebooks, practice them, writing them in the air, and practice them all over the place. I hope. All right, so let's do our next one. Two, two. So we know that T says t, t, very easy, but now we've got ooh. Oh my goodness. Do you see that we spelt the ooh in you with an OU? Let's get a nice blue. Do you see we spelled the ooh in you with an OU? And now in ooh, we're going to be spelling it just with an O. Wow, that is something that we are going to remember and by heart and really put into our minds that when we say to, I am going to the park, I'm going to school. Did you go to the market? When we use to, we spell the oo with o. So let's do a quick run through to. I'm going to the park. Let's count the sounds. T, oo. 2 sounds, t and oo. You're going to highlight your blocks and make sure that you've highlighted 2 blocks because the word to has got 2 sounds. Now we're going to choose the letters that spell those sounds. So for the t, t, we're going to get our pen and we're going to spell t with the letter T. That's an easy one for us. Now we get onto the part that's the part to remember. Ooh. And that is just spelled with the letter O. And so we're going to put a heart on that part. Ooh, to the park. It's not the number two. Oh no. And it's also not the meaning that you're too busy or too tall. It's just two. So let's practice writing two. As my pencil moves, so does my mouth. I keep on saying the wrong sentence today. Maybe I'm too tired. So, as my pencil moves, so does my mouth. T, oo, two, t, oo, two. All right. Now I'm going to write a nice sentence. I will go to school. Okay? Or maybe that's a little bit of a long sentence for today. I'll say, I went to school. Okay? All right. So I'm thinking about my capital letters. I'm thinking about my organization. I'm thinking if it makes sense. I went to school. I'm thinking about my punctuation, my full stop, and I'm going to make sure that I have good spaces between my words. I, with a nice capital letter, O, E, N, T, to school. S, K, O, L. I went to school. And there you can see that we've got the spelling of oo in school with a double O. So that might be something that you already have seen. Okay, so now we've done three high frequency words or three heart words. The, you, to. And then this is going to be easy for us because it follows the to spelling. We've got do. Do you like to go to school? Do you like to read? Do you like to spell? Do you like to write? Do. It is a very nice question word to use. Now we're going to take our highlighter and we are going to easily map the sounds of do because we've already done two and it follows the exact same pattern. Great. We might even have a rule here. So let's say do, d, oo. Two sounds. Highlight the d, highlight the block for oo. Okay, right, d, oo. Okie dokie. And let's take our pen. Now we're going to choose the letters that spell those sounds. When I have the sound d, I use the letter D. When I have the sound oo, it looks like I've got some options. I've got OU, like in you, but I'm not going to use that one. I've got OO, like in the some other words like to. I'm not going to be using two O's for do. I'm going to be using the one O spelling rule, like to and do when O says oo. So I'm just going to be using O for the oo sound, and I'm going to put a nice heart over it. And I'm going to remember. D, oo, my oo is spelled with an O. Now we're going to write the word do. As my pencil moves, so does my mouth. Writing and spelling is a noisy, not too noisy, so we disrupt our friends, but it is a noisy activity. We've got to say the sounds as we write them. So let's go. D, oo, do, d, d, oo, do. And now I've written my word twice, and I'm going to write my sentence. How could I use do in a sentence? Well, I'm going to ask a question, which means that my punctuation is going to be a little different. I'm going to ask somebody if they like cats. Do you like cats? All right, let's go. Capital letter D. Ooh, space. Y. Ooh, there's one of my heart words. And I remember that my ooh in you is OU. Do you? Ooh, I. And this silent E, or Mommy E, as we sometimes call her, is a rule that I will teach you later. Do you like cats? K, a, t, s, cats. And I'm going to put a question mark as my punctuation because this is a question. Do you like cats? All right, lovely learners, well done for your spelling today. Your job now is to make sure that your page is completed, that you've highlighted your sounds, that you've mapped out the spelling for each sound, and that you've practiced writing your word and written some nice sentences. You are welcome to use my sentences, but if you can write your own sentences, that will be even better. Good luck, and tomorrow we will be doing our next set of high frequency words. Alrighty, bye bye.